What made you curse your therapist? When I first started therapy, I thought I was finally doing something right. Everyone told me it was the healthy thing to do. My mom said, "It's good to talk to someone." My best friend said, "You'll feel lighter." So I went to see Ms. Calloway, a woman with perfect hair and this calm, soft voice that made you think she actually cared. The first few sessions were fine. I told her about my anxiety, how I couldn't sleep, how I hated the way my chest felt tight every time I went to work. She'd nod, smile, and say things like, "That's completely valid." I thought I could trust her. But around the 5th session, things started to change. She began interrupting me more, leaning back with this bored look in her eyes like she'd heard it all before. I'd talk about how hard it was to keep up at work, and she'd say, "Maybe your boss is reacting to your energy." I'd mention that my ex used to insult me, and she'd say, "You must have done something that made him feel small." Every sentence felt like a punch. I'd leave her office more anxious than I came in, but I kept telling myself healing was supposed to be uncomfortable. Then one day, I told her about something that happened when I was a teenager, something that left a scar. I was shaking when I said it. I couldn't look her in the eye. I told her about someone who took advantage of me when I was too young to even understand what was happening. When I finished, there was a long silence. Then she said, "Do you think you might have wanted the attention?" My head snapped up. "What?" She didn't even flinch. "You were young. Maybe you were looking for affection in the wrong places." I just stared at her. I couldn't even find words. My mouth went dry. I said, "He was an adult." She crossed her legs, still calm, and said, "You've carried this for so long because it gives you something, control, sympathy, a reason to stay angry." I felt like the air had been sucked out of the room. "You think I wanted that?" I said, my voice shaking. "I think you've held on to it because it makes you feel special," she said. "You've made it part of your identity." Something inside me snapped. My hands were trembling, my chest burning. I stood up so fast my chair hit the wall. "You're sick," I said. "You're supposed to help people." She tilted her head, still smiling that therapist smile. "You're projecting your anger onto me. That's progress." I could barely see straight. I said, "You think this is progress? You think telling someone they asked for trauma is therapy?" She stayed silent, just writing in her stupid notebook. That was when I lost it. "You're a parasite," I said. "You feed on broken people and call it healing. You twist pain into homework." She blinked slowly, like she was studying me. "You're scared of accountability," she said. "You lash out instead of reflecting." My voice cracked when I said, "You shouldn't be near people who are hurting." She put her pen down and said, "Maybe you're not ready for therapy." I laughed, an ugly, bitter sound, and said, "No, you're not ready for empathy." I grabbed my bag and walked to the door. My hands were shaking so hard I could barely open it. She said behind me, "You'll be back when you realize the problem isn't me." I turned around, and for the first time, she looked uneasy. Maybe it was the way I stared at her, or maybe she finally realized she'd gone too far. My voice was low, shaking, but every word came out clear. "I hope every lie you tell yourself about helping people sticks to you. I hope you wake up one day and realize that the only thing you've ever healed is your own ego." Then I said it, the curse that had been building in my throat for weeks, the one that felt like it had been waiting for this moment. "May every word you speak in that room come back to you, exactly how it feels to the people you break." Then I walked out. I never went back.